I'm joined by Cornelis Frischweg, the Chief Executive Officer of GoAir. Congratulations, Cor, on the launch of international operations of GoAir. So the first question then would be why, choose the destinations of Malé and Phuket? What was the strategic interest behind doing that?
Well, the strategic interest definitely is the growth of both marketplaces. So the growth in tourism in Malé, but especially also in Phuket, is phenomenal. And obviously we like to tap into that growth potential. Secondly, we are going to be the first Indian carrier have direct connections to those growth markets. And on the Indian side, obviously, there's a significant demand to spend holidays in those wonderful destinations.
Considering domestically, there have been problems, of the costing pressure because of the ticket prices, there's a lot of competition and they've been bottoming out. And the second, obviously, of the ATF price that has been on the rise for quite some time. So how in this scenario would you manage to protect your margins and profitability? What would be the strategy there?
So indeed, fuel and the forex have a significant impact on the cost position. And you're absolutely right that the competition in the market leads to very low prices, which is good for the customers. And it gives us a big challenge. And of course, in order to manage, let's say, the margins, we are very keen to drive our cost down as much as possible. So thankfully, the NEO is helping us because the NEO has significantly lower fuel burn than the the older type aircraft. And I'm talking about 18-19%. So that is a big help for us. And apart from that, there's a multitude of initiatives in the organization to make the organization more productive and drive costs further down.
Talking about NEO aircrafts, 2 of them are on ground for GoAir, mainly because of the engine problems. What do you plan to do about that? Are you looking at other engine makers, for a deal, or would it be Pratt & Whitney going forward? And how do you manage to get the compensation for the aircrafts that have been, the engines that have been damaged so far?
So we're working very, very closely with Airbus and Pratt & Whitney to resolve all the problems. Indeed, we have some airplanes on the ground. However, there is a significant supply of lease engines now available for us in order to cope with the problem. So basically, I think the supply of lease engine is an answer to your question, which will help us in order to fly, let's say, the total fleet. And going forward, I anticipate that this problem will be in control.
Are there any other engine makers that you're also in negotiation with, and by when do you look to close this deal with the new engine maker, considering you've already ordered a new fleet of A320 Neos?
Yeah, to be honest, I think both engine types have problems. So the Pratt & Whitney have the known problem because they are known in India. Also, the CFM engines are having their own problems. So to say, which engine is the better engine at the moment, I think it's too early on, because both engines have not been flying to a mature stage. So it's very hard to understand and to know which engine will be the better engine on the longer term.
A lot of it was due to the combustor distress, which I understand that from March, Pratt & Whitney would be having Block C combustors, which would be better than the Block B ones. So is there a negotiation there that you would work out in terms of the compensation for the older engines and the Block C combustors for the new ones?
Of course, so when events like this happen, you're always talking and negotiating with the suppliers to gain compensation for the loss. However, it will never compensate all the costs you have. It will not compensate the damage we do to our customers, because it's affect, of course, our network. And the question was, the Block Cs, yeah. So in terms of the Block Cs, we have now Block C engines on most of our aircraft. I think there's only 1 or 2 left which have the Block B engines. They are on a preventative inspection program. I think the good thing about a preventative inspection program is we don't have in-flight shutdowns. So we know when the engine is deteriorating, and at a good point in time we take those engines off in order to prevent, let's say, in-flight shutdowns. The Block C is behaving a lot better than the Block B going forward.
Okay. Also, when we talk about the passenger load factor, which indicates the capacity utilization, most of the airlines in India, including Go Air, are peaking capacity utilization at 90%, which obviously brings us to the question of capacity addition. Right now, you have a fleet of 19 A320neos. By how much do you plan to increase it at the end of FY19?
So so to the future, we have some committed deliveries. There is also flexibility in the delivery. So based on the market circumstances, we will tune, let's say, the pace of induction of new aircraft. The other question was, I think.
By how much do you plan to increase it? Would it be, I think, some 6 aircrafts you've already committed to induct. So by how much do you see that increasing that number?
Yeah, so month by month we, let's say, commit more airplanes. So basically we are inducting, let's say, in the coming period, let's say 10 to 13 airplanes additionally. If you're talking about the current fiscal year, yeah.
Also, when we talk about the company itself, there has been talk around the IPO. Once the engine problem of the aircraft resolve, is there a way that that kind of has been interfering with the IPO? Would you go ahead with one later, or by when do you see that really happening?
It's not on the table now, so we're not talking about IPOs.
Also, when it comes to the international destinations, Phuket and Malé done, what is the way forward there?
So we will expand internationally, and unfortunately I can't share all the exotic destinations we have on our wish list. But when times come due, I will inform you and share the presence with the public and the press.
And what will be your overall growth strategy for the domestic market, considering that the networking has to kind of improve, and it would be metro to non-metro connectivity or something around that will have to work out, because the cost is going to remain the same?
Yes, so we will grow domestically. There's still a lot of opportunities to grow domestically. So basically the strategy is focused on solid domestic growth and international expansion.
How do you see the domestic growth happening? What would be the strategy there?
Well, the metro to metro connections are basically congested now. So we will indeed connect non-metro to metro and non-metro and let's say non-metro to non-metro.
So can we see more destinations getting added in the future for domestic market?
Obviously, when we grow the domestic network, there will be new destinations, obviously, but I can't tell you where we're looking at. So it's also a matter, not sharing all these confidential information with a bigger audience, of course. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gaurav, for speaking to Bloomberg Quint. It was a pleasure talking to you.